Batman is so much better than Spider-Man. You see, when I was 7 years old, me and my friends, we used to get into arguments. Which one was better, Spider-Man or Batman? And when we were going on our bus on the way to school, we would talk about it endlessly. You see, my friends Marty and Sam, they like Spider-Man. If you don't know Spider-Man, Spider-Man had a red and blue suit. He had spidey senses, and he'd have webs that would be able to come out of his wrist. He'd be like, tss, tss, tss. Because then he'd be able to fly all around the city. Now here's the thing. Spider-Man got all of his skills. Spider-Man got all of his ability because one day he was bitten by a radioactive spider. And that's the thing. I think to myself, if I was bitten by a radioactive spider, if you were bitten by a radioactive spider, well, then you would be just like Spider-Man. But Batman, you see, Batman was different because Batman had to work. In the mornings, in the evenings, he would do push-ups, he would do pull-ups, and he worked to become a superhero. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the reason why I'm sharing this story with you today is because today we have the opportunity to hear from a talented author who has gotten two superheroes of her own. My name is Amin Asr, and I'm the author of Noor Kids, and today on Around the World Storytime, sponsored in part by Helping Hands for Relief and Development, join me in welcoming Sister Kazima Wajahat. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Kazima.
Hi, Kirsan.
How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah. Thank you for having me.
The pleasure is all mine. Oh my goodness, is that Mikaeel and Malaika behind you?
Yeah, this is
Oh
what
my
I do
goodness.
for events. And of course, because we don't have any more events, I'm like, I'm going to use it at home now.
It looks really, really nice. So, Kazima, where do you live? Tell everyone where you live.
I live in Dallas, Texas, the best place ever.
And I'm sure your weather is fine, and mashallah, a lot of good halal options there, a lot of masjids, a lot of cool people. Okay, I get it. There's a lot to love about Dallas. I get it. In fact, actually, I think a lot of the Helping Hands crew is in Dallas too. So, but before we actually get started with your story, tell us a little bit about Mikaeel and Malaika.
So Mikaeel Malaika, and I like that you mentioned Superman or Spider-Man and Batman, because Mikaeel Malaika are not like Superman or Batman or Spider-Man. They are different. They are a very special superhero duo. And they do things that Superman and Spider-Man cannot even do. They act like you. They talk like you. They walk like you. They even sneeze like you. Because Mikaeel and Malaika are two kids. They're brother and sisters, and they are Muslim superheroes.
Oh, awesome. I can't wait. So, Sister Kazma, as you are getting ready to share your screen, and as you're doing that right now, I just want to remind all of our viewers that this Around the World Storytime is made possible by Helping Hands for Relief and Development. So, as you're getting ready for, thinking about where you're going to be giving your zakat, please keep Helping Hands in mind. Kazma, oh, I heard a button. I heard something.
Do you hear it? Can you see it now?
Hold on. Let me see. I can't see it just yet. Do. So Sister Cosmo, there's a little button on the bottom right that says you are presenting.
I think I should have done this before. It's asking me to change my system preferences. I usually do this on Zoom.
Oh, okay. Well,
For Google at hold on.
no worries. So while you are working on that, I want to just tell everyone a little bit about my experience with Mikaeel Malaika. So I've got a little daughter at home named Kothar, and so because I've got a little daughter at home named Kothar, I love to get a lot of books, all sorts of books, big ones, small ones, red ones, blue ones, and of course, Mikaeel Malaika, and she loves it. In fact, she loves it so much that at one point I went to Sister Kazma. I was like, Kazma, I want your help writing books for Noor Kids. And alhamdulillah, Sister Kazma was actually a part part of our team for a while, in which she was helping us write books. And so today we've got it set up, Sister Kazima, the power of dua. So with that, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Sister Kazima, you can take it away.
Okay, Bismillah. So 2 years ago, which for us it's like a long time ago. 2 years ago, Mikaeel Malaika went on their very first mission. And that was the mission to find the one that loves them the most. And that was from the story, Mikaeel Malaika, The Quest for Love. But today, they are on a different mission. Today, something happened that they didn't expect to happen as superheroes. So we are going to find out what it is. Mikaeel and Malaika were brother and sister, and they both had one thing in common. They were superheroes. At least they used to be. One day, as they were walking back from the masjid after Jummah prayer, they heard, "Somebody help!" Mikaeel and Malaika glanced at each other and quickly whipped on their capes and rushed to the scene of the crime. It was time for another mission. "What happened, Sister Sarah?" "Someone has taken all our shoes," she wailed. "Don't worry. We'll get to the bottom of this," Mikaeel reassured. The superheroes ran to the parking lot, raised both hands to the sky, jumped into the air, and fell back down. They tried again. Arms outstretched, they sprung off one leg and collided with the ground. "Malaika, our superpowers," said Mikaeel. "Why can't we fly anymore?" cried Malaika. They needed answers. They needed Big Boss. Big Boss was in the middle of a classified utensil purification process. "Big Boss, our superpowers, they're gone!" cried Mikaeel. "Alas, my superheroes, your superhero lifestyle was only a 14-day free trial." Trial? Mikaeel and Malaika were shocked. "No powers, no problem," exclaimed Mikaeel. "We still have..." Mikaeel opened his super secret garage. "Our super jet! It's gone!" Mikaeel and Malaika ran back to command post. So their super jet is missing. Big Boss was skimming through a high-profile superhero manual. "Big Boss, our super jet! It's gone!" cried Mikaeel. "Oh, that old thing you flew on! I sold that on Spamazon!" Big Boss chuckled. Mikaeel and Malaika were lost. "No superpowers! No super jet! What about Mission Disappearing Shoes?" asked Mikaeel. Big Boss laughed. "My superheroes, there is no need for your distress. There is one superpower you still possess." Mikaeel jumped. "Oh, I still have my super X-ray vision." Big Boss shook his head. "Super speed? Not quite. Super strength? No. Super meal consumption?" Big Boss raised an eyebrow. "What? I get hungry," shrugged Mikaeel. "The power of dua is your greatest strength. Asking Allah will take you to great lengths." "The power of dua?" asked Malaika. "Yes, the power of dua!" Mikaeel and Malaika exclaimed, running to their prayer mat. "Oh Allah, you are the most merciful, the all-powerful. Please help us find the missing shoes." Mikaeel and Malaika finished their dua and waited, and waited, and waited some more. Let's go check now. They checked the shelves. No shoes. They checked inside. No shoes. They checked outside. Still no shoes. So the superheroes headed back to command post. Big Boss was busy sanitizing the infantile waste unit. "Big Boss, we've lost all our powers, even our power of dua. The shoes are still missing," cried Mikaeel. "Have patience, my son, for an apple is only good to eat when it has turned red, ripe, and sweet." Mikaeel and Malaika hitched a ride with Grandpa to the apple orchard. "Oh Allah, You are the most loving, the giving. Please, please help us find the missing shoes. Mikaeel grabbed a small green apple from the tree. Mikaeel, wait! Ugh, that was so sour. Malaika stopped and thought. An apple is only good to eat when it has turned red, ripe, and sweet. Malaika handed Mikaeel a bright red apple. Try this one. Mmm, sweet. Mikaeel Malaika returned to command post. Big Boss, any news on the shoes? Questioned Mikaeel. Big Boss was training the new superhero recruit. Patience, my son, for a caterpillar will never fly if it doesn't wait to become a butterfly. Mikaeel and Malaika raised their hands in the middle of the butterfly garden. Oh Allah, you are the all-knowing, the all-aware. Please, please, please help us find the missing shoes. Mikaeel, a caterpillar! Mikaeel stroked the tiny green caterpillar. Oh, why isn't it flying? He wondered. Malaika stopped and thought. A caterpillar will never fly if it doesn't wait to become a butterfly. Look, the cocoon is moving, Malaika pointed. Bit by bit, the cocoon began to shed. Out blossomed a beautiful butterfly. Mikaeel and Malaika watched in awe. Mikaeel and Malaika returned to command post. Big Boss was concocting his infamous superhero nourishment biscuits. He's making chocolate chip cookies.
Nice.
Mikaeel sat at the table and reached for one. Patience, my superhero. Rewards are best when the time is... I'm tired of waiting. I've been waiting and praying for days and my dua won't come true. Why won't my dua come true? Mikaeel interrupted. Mikaeel, rewards are best when the time is right. Rewards will come with Allah's might. Allah gives us ripe red apples to eat, but only when we wait for them to be sweet. Only by waiting will a caterpillar fly by turning into a butterfly, exclaimed Malaika. And don't forget to ask Allah. He loves when we ask him and do dua, said Big Boss. That night, after Maghrib prayer, Mikaeel and Malaika raised their hands in dua again. Oh Allah, you are the all-seeing, the all-hearing, the just. Please help us find the missing shoes, but only when you feel we must. Mikaeel, Malaika, come outside, called Super Agent MOM. Mikaeel and Malaika couldn't believe their eyes. Behind the masjid, under the bushes, were fluffy newborn kittens, keeping warm in none other than the missing shoes. Allah had made their dua come true. Mikaeel smiled and said, Thank you, Allah. Rewards will come with Allah's might. Rewards are best when the time is right. Then it ends with an ayat from Surah Baqarah, and that is the end of the story.
Oh my gosh, I really, 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 really loved it. That was an amazing story. Hold on. When my devotees inquire of you about me, I am near, and I answer the call of the supplicant. Okay, Allahu Akbar. Oh man, Sister Kazima, that was a really, really special story. So, give me a little bit of context here. Why did you write this story?
So with both of my stories, the first one and this one, it was based on things that my children used to ask me. So the concept of Allah is just so difficult for people to understand, even as adults. It's something that we struggle with. And so the first one, I wanted the children to understand about the love of Allah. And then for this one, this was dua was such a tough topic. And it's funny that I launched literally with all this going on, because even as adults, we have so much trouble having faith. You know, we say that we have faith in Allah and that we know that He's going to make our dreams come true. but actually understanding it is a whole different story. And so I wanted my children and other children around the world to understand why it is that Allah's du'as or their du'as to Allah don't come true the way they want, or when they want, because maybe it's not best for them. Maybe there's something, not maybe, surely there's something so much better for them. And I wanted all these children to realize that and understand that. So that's where the story came from.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. So Sister Kazima, tell us a little bit about your journey around being an author. So when did it start, and what kind of inspired you to become an author?
So I have always loved writing. Ever since I was little, I remember my teachers in class used to tell my mom, like, I used to write stories after stories, and this was since kindergarten. And they used to be like, she's doing wonderful, but she needs to focus on her work. She's over here writing stories. And so writing stories and then telling stories, I used to get in trouble for talking too much and telling stories. So that was just always something that was within me. And I've always had a love of books. And when I was little, my parents used to buy, shelves worth of books, of Islamic books, just because they wanted us to have that love of Islam. But sadly, those Islamic books were not anywhere close to the books that we grew up with, like the Dr. Seuss books or the Mark Brown or the Eric Carle books that we used to love reading. And so one day I just thought to myself, it's like, well, it'd be so cool if we had Islamic books that were, the same content, the same type of quality in illustrations and the way they're printed and the way they're written, because the ones that we used to read had like thy and thou and like not like normal like English that we speak in. So that was just something that was in the back of my mind, and it didn't ever really come into being until my kids were born. And I really felt like there was a need. And so when my son was born in 2012, that's when I kind of started working and toying around with some ideas, but it seemed so overwhelming. And then a couple of years later, when my daughter was born, I felt like it was one of those early life crises where I'm like, oh my gosh, in a couple of years, I'm going to be 30 years old and I haven't done anything with my life. What am I doing? I'm over here as an SLP, but like, is this really enough? Do I want to die and know that all I did was I was a speech pathologist all my life and a mom? So then that's kind of what pushed me. And I'm like, no, I'm doing this. I don't care what happens. I'm doing this. And so that's when I came out with my first book. I launched it in 2017. And then this one I just launched in February of 2020.
Mashallah, mashallah. It's been such a wonderful experience even for me to watch as that journey has happened. So where do Mikaeel and Malaika go from here?
They are on they're in the midst of creating another journey. I'm working on something else that's going to be a little different, inshallah. If everything works out, we'll see. There's going to be hopefully another one in the series. I did create for, I literally launched this a couple of days ago. It's called Mikaeel Malaika, A Quarantine Ramadan.
Okay.
And a printable story that you can actually find on my website. It's an ebook, and you can print it or you can just read it as an ebook. And it's all about Mikaeel Malaika's Ramadan in quarantine, which is something that's so close to home. And I feel like it was so needed. So that's a short story that I wrote, 17 pages worth of a storybook with illustrations and everything.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. And so if people want to find that, what website would they go to?
So they go to KazimaWajahat.com, and that is where you can order this book, or you can download the printable story as well.
Wonderful. Gosh, that's so great. I really enjoyed listening to that story, and I can't wait to see, inshallah, all of the exciting places where Mikaeel and Malaika go. So, Sister Kazima, I have a challenge for you, and this is a brainstorming challenge. So, do you have a piece of paper and do you have a pen?
I have, yes, I do.
All right, so the way this is going to work is I'm going to put 1 minute on the clock. And as we put 1 minute on the clock, what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to come up with as many superpowers as you possibly can. All right, and I'm going to do the same. But the one thing that's going to make this a little bit more even, because I know you're thinking to yourself, well, I mean, you've been thinking about this all day, is you have to come up with a letter, okay? So so you pick the letter, and then once you pick a letter, we'll brainstorm from there.
Oh man. S.
S. All right, sounds good. So I am setting the time clock starting now. Oh man.
I'm probably bending the rules just a little bit.
I think I might be as well.
So now, does it have to sound like S or does it have to start with S?
S. It's got to start with S.
Okay. Okay.
All right. How many did you get?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know if all 9 of mine count. Honestly, some of them are a little bit. Some of them are a little bit stretching the rules. So
I'm not gonna lie, all of mine start with super.
Oh man! So I did that for the first 4, and then I was like, all right, let me switch it up. All right, sounds good. So what? So which ones did you do?
So I started doing things for my book. Super meal consumption. I don't know if that's a superpower.
Okay.
Super speed, super kick, super jump. We were literally going through all the body parts. Super X-ray vision, super strength, and that's where I stopped.
All right, so I was going down that path, and then I switched it up a little bit. All right, so I did super speed, super jumping, super strength, super hearing.
Oh.
I did sonic blast, which is like, Sonic. And then, I didn't know if this is superhero, but I thought, what was your profession, Kazima? You're a speech and what?
Speech language pathologist.
Okay, so I said speech and language pathology. I didn't know if that was right. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's speech and language pathology, but I didn't want to sound like, wrong. Yeah. I also put as a superpower silent treatment, like people who can give like the really good silent treatment.
Yeah.
And then I put smiling bigly. Like,
smiling bigly.
Yeah, like a really, really big smile. You know what I'm saying? Like it lights up a room or something like that.
Well, smiling is sunnah, so.
All right. Well, Sister Kazima, it was such a treat to have you on behalf of myself, Amin Asr, author of Noor Kids, and on behalf of Helping Hands for Relief and Development. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining us today. Thank you so much, Sister Kazima.
Thank you so much for having me.
And for our viewers, inshallah, join us again next time, same place, same time, for Around the World Storytime, as we meet some of the most talented Muslim authors in the world. We will see you then. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.